What's up, Liron here, and today I'm going to share with you this finished huge painting. What's up, Liron here. Thank you for joining me in another video. As mentioned, today I'm going to show you this one. I said huge, but for some people it may not be as large. This is a half a sheet painting I just finished a few days ago or a week ago, depending on when I'm going to post this video. I'm not really sure yet. I'm really proud of this. There are really good things about the process of this one. And I want to talk about the challenges that I ran into, why this is a very interesting project for me, and the process that I used for making this. Okay, so I really hope you're gonna enjoy this one. Let's change the angle and get started. Okay, so here is the large piece, and I have another camera because I want you to see my face while I talk about it. I'm just experimenting with some new things, so let me know what you think of that. So here's the large piece. Again, this is half a sheet, okay, half a watercolor sheet. So it measures at about 57 centimeters on, I think it's 37, let me see, yeah, about 37, and you divide that by 2.5 if you want to get the measurements for the inches. So in any case, I remember, and I'm going to show you the reference as well, somewhere around here, and the first time I walked into this room, I believe, or maybe the second time, there was this crazy light shining from the outside, and this is a sunset light, so it was in the evening, I guess, and it just poured through the room, and the shape, the unique shape that it casted on this area is what I really liked about this. And the unique shadows, you see there's this frame around the window, and the frame also casts a very gentle shadow that I really wanted to capture. The whole room was dark, and this scene challenged me in so many ways, and I guess I'll count them now. The first one is the size of it. So I'm not used to working in half sheets. Usually I do a quarter sheet, but now as I'm trying to get into galleries and doing some more work, that's just, I think, more professional, more professionally, I guess, finalized with better finish and polish. I want to start working on large pieces, because quarter sheet is a bit small for galleries, I think, as well. And also I just want to make larger pieces because it's cool. So it gives you a lot of freedom of movement. But some challenges came with that, and you can see how some of my washes aren't even. You get these different shapes and textures. Now you could argue that it works well and that it looks good, and I agree to some extent, but some of it is from lack of experience with large washes. So just wanted to point that out. Probably should have worked really fast and disregard some of the things that I was trying to paint around. Probably should have just ignored them and went ahead and painted over them. So that's the first aspect. Now the second aspect, except for in addition to the size, is, I would say, the unique composition of this image. And by that I mean mainly the values. Okay, so most of this painting most of the scene was very dark. The only well lit things are these two doors and the shadow. The light here on this small chair that I think is one of the things that are the most beautiful about this scene. Some highlights here on this plate, and this TV monitor that has some highlights on it. But aside from that, everything was super dark. And it's not, by the way, it's not fully conveyed here. I should have probably gone a little darker. But that's the second, I think there are two things that challenged me. So that's the second thing that was really challenging here. And of course, you could talk about the perspective and notice how these lines move to inside, and then this is a 2-point perspective basically. So all lines that are parallel in this manner congregate and meet at a vanishing point that's somewhere over there. Same for these lines here, they meet somewhere outside the frame. So I couldn't really use a tool to measure as much. There are a few tools available, but for me I just had to eyeball it, and so I'm happy with how it turned out. Now another thing I would say is how packed with details this room is. There's just a lot going on. There's these shelves and the books, and then you want to get something that doesn't, you still have a clear point of interest. It doesn't interfere too much with it, which is why I found this one to be extremely challenging. But I think I handled it nicely, and I'm actually, maybe I'll crop it in later, or I'm going to show you now. I actually made a side-by-side comparison of the black and white version of this and the original reference, and they look similar, really, really similar. And this is also a mark from Drawmix Paint talks about it, that if you're unsure about the quality or the similarity, let's say, of your painting, just go at it one section at a time and compare it to the reference and see how dark it is and if it's the same. Is this area as dark as it is in the reference? Is the ceiling as dark? Is this left part of the ceiling as dark or as light? Is this lighter part the same? Is the contrast between these two parts similar to what I see on the reference? And as long as your drawing was fairly accurate and you got these right, you should get a good result, okay? So this is a major, I think, landmark for me, a milestone, because it's a really large painting that I feel very pleased about. I do have 2 or 3 others that I'm really pleased about as well, but some of them are, well, one of them is abstract, 2 of them are abstract, and one is just a tiny bit smaller, so it's kind of around here. So officially, this is the first impressionistic, my style kind of work that I do on this size that turned out the way I wanted it to. And I actually showed this to some people that slept in this room, in this very room, and they were like, is this a, we slept there? And I'm like, yeah, that's a painting. And they were like, oh, it's not a picture of the place? And that's like the best compliment you can ask for, basically. So I'm very pleased about how this one turned out, and I just thought I'd share it with you. I did want to mention, so you notice how I already removed the tape, and this is something a lot of people are waiting for. I talked about it on Instagram as well. What I'm gonna do is use IGTV, okay, the Instagram app, for longer videos, so it's for like 3 to 10 or 15-minute long videos for the unwrapping of finished paintings, meaning like the removing the tape and talking a bit about them. So maybe not as long as this video, but it's going to be a video that details some of my thought process and so on. One thing, so be sure to check out IGTV, because that's where I'm going to talk about it. You can see it on my Instagram. My Instagram is linked here everywhere. Just follow me there, then check out, there's an IGTV button, and you get there and you can see some medium length videos. And if you like watching videos with your phone held up like this, like vertical, not horizontal, then it's a good place. Now, one thing I didn't mention here is the work process, okay, and how I approached working on this one. There isn't too much to say. I had an initial wash that was very light, and I can crop in the pictures showing the process because I do have them. Just going over everything. And this was the highlights. So this is that first wash, what you see here. However, I did lift back some of it. I felt like it was a little too dark, so I lifted back some of it, and then I worked, and this is where the problem came from. What I should have done is worked in small areas. Cover this wall, finish with that. Cover this wall, the ceiling, sorry, this wall, and finish with those. What I did was I said, okay, second wash, I'm gonna cover everything but the highlights. So I had to cover the blue for the ceiling, this orangey red wall, this brown wall, everything, the shadow here in one go. It was really hard. It was a nightmare. So when you work on such a large piece, it's okay to focus on different areas. It's not gonna hurt the overall feeling of the reference. As long as you were fairly accurate, it's gonna still be fine. Okay, so I wouldn't worry too much about that. And this is it. Let me know what you think of this new setup where you can actually see me in the extra camera. I just have a better way of setting it up now because I have my own studio and all, so it's much better. It's just easier. It makes it easier to do this whole thing. I don't have to remove stuff and put them back, which was a nightmare really, but still, you know, I got through a time period of like a video every day doing that. So now it should be easy peasy. What I do want to do is slowly increase the frequency of the videos, so you can expect some an increased frequency soon. I think within a few weeks. I'm going to start with 3 per week for the next 2 or 3 weeks, and we're going to take it from there. Because I finished working on the new course, the Sketching People course. I'm going to link it down in the Sorry About the Shakiness. I'm going to link it down below in the description. I need to remember to do that as well. Because I finished working on that, which was a huge process and a huge project. So if you're interested in learning how to sketch people and you want to help me with my huge effort to do this and with the free videos that I do here, definitely check it out. I think it's, if you want to learn how to sketch people, you want to do it in a fun way, you want to do it in a way that isn't too serious and dives too deep into the anatomy, which honestly for me, I did a bit of that, but it was too much. I just prefer to look at what I want to sketch and sketch it or draw it. So if you like my approach, it's the same thing, only for people. So I think you're really going to enjoy this one, so I recommend you check it out. I'm going to link it down below, and because I finished with this huge project, the third product, I now have a little more time to breathe and to work on these videos for you, okay? So, you know, I was a little burned out back then, and it was noticeable, but I went through the processes that I needed to go through in order to, let's say, find my voice again and make sure that it's authentic. And I may need to correct course a few more times in the future, and I'm really thankful for having you with me and for you being really patient, I suppose. And hopefully you enjoy everything in the videos. I'm trying to just pump out as much content as possible and make it like 99% of it free. So the courses actually help to fund these free videos. So, and I do the Patreon thing as well, but I feel like the Patreon is more like if you just want to donate and you want to give in a way that's nice. What I actually am the most passionate about is to teach. So in exchange for the Patreon donations, I just provide some insider information. But when it comes to teaching, selling my own courses, that's like the best thing I can think of. This is something we do in Israel sometimes when we're thankful for something or happy about something. I don't know. Maybe it's weird for you. But in any case, I want to thank you so much for watching, and I'm going to just switch the angle and we're going to wrap up this video. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed seeing how I did this painting. You can also see here in the background a painting I'm currently working on, but I'm going to update you on that one separately. But in any case, let me move this a bit. So I really hope you enjoyed this video, and all of the links, everything I talked about is going to be in the description box below. It's a good thing that I remembered, but my course on sketching people, be sure to check it out if this is something you're interested in. And it's my source of income. This is how I make my living, which is amazing. I'm really thankful for that. But the thing that allows me to do these videos with such a high frequency is this. So the more I'm able to support myself, the more of these videos are going to come out, just, you know, honestly speaking, and the more time I have for them. So I want to try and increase it again to 3 times a week, and it's going to start next week. Which is probably the week you're watching this in. So it's going to start this week. And then within 2 or 3 weeks, I'm going to try and push it to more. Okay, we're going to try and go for more. And if it'll be too much, I'm going to go back. It's okay. But I want to try it out. I want to try increasing the frequency. And it means that some of the content is going to change. You're going to have the painting processes. You're going to have the paint show. You're going to have painting masters. But then you'll have videos like this one today that I'm actually showing you a painting or that I'm talking about a process I went through. There's another painting I want to show you soon, which is this one that I submitted to a watercolor competition, and I need to keep you updated on that once I have results. So this is another thing we have to do. But in any case, that's it. This video is becoming a little too long. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this one, and I will see you again in another vid real soon. Take care.